It all started with the Daedric Prince of Domination, the King of Rape, Molag Bal himself, creator of vampires. The first vampire ever created was Lemay Beowulfalg, a Nedic priestess of Arkay who was brutally raped by Molag Bal in the wilds of Skyrim. Lemay's bloodline would continue for millennia, but many more bloodlines would form, with their own unique abilities and skills. Members of these bloodlines would come together in clans so that they could survive and thrive. So today, I am going to tell you about 5 vampire clans in the world of Elder Scrolls. First off, we have the Wet Fang, the vampires of Blackmarsh. Intelligent and deadly, these vampires bring their victims a more unfortunate fate than most. If you happen to be a lonely traveler wandering through the swamps of Blackmarsh at night, be very careful, for if luck is not in your favor, an Argonian with suspicious fangs might jump from the shallow waters. You would be lucky if he killed you outright. However, this isn't the Wet Fang way. He will capture you and place you in a magicka-induced coma, dragging you back to his lair, where he can extract fresh, warm blood at his own leisure. My advice to you would be don't wander the swamps of Blackmarsh at night, but if you insist, be prepared. Very prepared. Second on this list, we have the Telboth. These vampires of unconventional means plague the lands of Valenwood. Your death at the hands of one of these creatures will not only be painful, but truly heart-wrenching when you realize the truth of it all. You and your Bosma family live peacefully in a rural town. Your youngest daughter is off playing in the woods. However, it's getting dark. You are worried. However, she returns, prancing happily towards you. You scold her for worrying you. She says she was held up talking to a friend. You inquire about the friend and she just says it was a nice man in the forest. Later, you're sitting down for dinner. Your daughter is unusually chipper, making lots of jokes, usually at the expense of her siblings, like always. However, the jokes seem to have an underlying layer of malice to them. You ignore it. Maybe she had a bad day. For weeks this continues. You wonder if she's being bullied, causing her to take it out on her family. But one Maundas evening, after returning from a long day at the shop, you open the door to your house, expecting to see your family around the dinner table. Instead, you see blood splatters, torn clothes, broken furniture, and gore strewn all over the place. Your youngest daughter sits by the fire, facing its fiery blaze. You approach her frantically to find out what happened, but as she turns, you are met by dripping fangs and glowing eyes as she jumps at you and rips out your throat. You die never understanding that weeks ago when your daughter returned from the forest, it wasn't her who returned. Truth is, she was brutally killed by a Telboth vampire, which then disguised itself as your daughter, playing a role until it decided to kill you all. That, my friends, is the way of the Telboth vampire. The third fanged monster we have that will plunge its fangs into your neck, draining you of all your blood, is the Volca High vampire. You are most likely very familiar with these vampires if you have played the Dawnguard DLC for Skyrim. These vampires dwell in hidden lairs all over Skyrim, however these Volca High vampires are usually the pitiful low breeds, with vampire blood running so thin through their veins that most of the purer vampires of Lord Harkon's court consider them to be nothing more than diseased mortals. The purer vampires of Harkon's court display their vampiric power by accessing the Vampire Lord form, a true incarnation of Molag Bal's gift. When walking across the frozen lakes of Skyrim, you might find yourself being pulled from under by the hand of a Volca High vampire, intangibly phasing through the ice. Now you are stuck underwater, with a vampire sucking your neck as you bang helplessly on the unbroken ice that spans the surface of the lake. It makes for a chilling end to your life. The fourth vampire on this list comes from a place with a bit of temperature change. The Killari vampires of Hammerfell are particularly deadly. When wandering the expansive deserts of Hammerfell, make sure you set up camp nice and early before night falls, because you don't want to be wandering in the dark across the dunes, for they may become the dunes of death. A Killari vampire could be waiting patiently underneath the sand, waiting for a victim to pass by before they launch themselves towards you and paralyze you before you have a chance to draw your curved sword. You now lay there stiff in the sand as a blood-starved beast with crimson red eyes slowly approaches. Your heart is beating fast in fear, pumping all your blood directly into the vampire's fangs that have pierced your neck. A cruel, cruel fate. Finally, we have the vampires of the Aund clan of Vardenfell. This clan of vampires are exclusively high elves. These ultimate vampires are blessed with the dark powers of the mind, and in the depths of hidden tombs, they practice and master their dark magic. These are the kind of vampires that seem less gruesome and beastly, but but no less scary. These ancient vampires are Altmer to begin with, giving them a natural affinity for magic, but then on top of that, they are immortal and have thousands of years of practice to perfect any spell or school of magic. So if you were trying to hunt one of these Aund vampires, it will be best that you are blessed by the Atronach sign, because their spells are of incredible magnitude and it is likely that you would be disintegrated otherwise. Subscribe to FudgeMuppet for more sensational videos just like this one. Tell me in the comments down below which vampire clan you would join. I'm Scott from FudgeMuppet. Our social media links are in the description, which I would highly encourage you to go follow us on. Go check them out, like this video, share it with your buddies, and I will see you in the next one.